Hello, welcome to another Geography Endeavour Plus video with me, Mr. Garrity. We will continue looking at what to expect from your exams, Physical Paper 1, the Rivers section. This video is quite content heavy, but there are opportunities to practice what it is we discuss. As a quick disclaimer before we begin the video, just listening to this video will not magically make your grades improve. This is a passive approach to revision and is not effective. It is only through actively practicing what is discussed and what is shown that your grades will improve. Make sure you clear your environment of distractions, turn off the music, turn off the video game, get out a pen and paper and actively practice what is discussed. It is also worth noting that anything you produce, you can always bring into school to get some feedback from any of the geography teachers in the geography department. So what are the examiners actually testing? This will be very familiar to your coastal section. They test your knowledge of geomorphic processes and how the land changes, using erosional processes, transportation, and deposition. You will also be tested on your knowledge of landforms, both erosional and depositional. The idea of do you know how they are formed and how they may change with time using these processes. You will also be tested on management strategies for the river, both hard engineering, which involves building a structure, often to great expense, in order to resist or control the geomorphic processes, or soft engineering strategies, where you try a more natural approach, often to maintain the appearance of the environment, but sometimes with a reduction to the effectiveness of the strategy. So how do they actually test this knowledge? To begin, they might ask you to identify or state certain parts of your knowledge, often using a multiple choice question, or maybe just asking you from memory, giving you the name of the process and asking you to describe it, or giving you the definition or the description of the process and asking you to name it. Of course, this also means they may use outline questions, asking you to outline what you know about that particular piece of knowledge. Usually, this is centered around your geomorphic processes, as it's very easy to ask you to identify a particular geomorphic process or to outline how they work. But sometimes they can also be used for landform style questions, either outline the features or characteristics of a landform or identify the landform that is available. Here you have an opportunity to practice the content that we've just discussed. I recommend that you revise the names of the erosion processes, transportations, and definition as a good recap. Then maybe try some questions, such as outlining how erosion changes from the upper to lower course, mainly focusing on the processes themselves and the direction they take. And identify and describe two features of this pictured landform. You may pause the video now. Hopefully, you've identified the landform here is the river meander. So how do they test the remaining knowledge? This is where you'll begin to see those higher mark questions at 4 or 6, your describe or explain questions. Often, they will offer you a figure for you to analyze or interpret first, or to just describe or explain what is going on in the figure. They may ask you to just do it from memory, often asking you to rely on case study or own knowledge that you can bring to show off what you know. This is usually 4 landform questions that are in combination with geomorphic processes, often asking you to explain how a landform is formed based on these processes or how it changes with time with these processes. But you can always count on a management strategy question for 6 marks. Note that there is no 9-mark question here, so a lot of practice needs to go into that management strategy question, since it can be very difficult to reach that higher level of marks just on a 6-mark question. To conclude the video, here is another opportunity to practice what we've covered. I recommend revising 2 erosional and depositional landforms at this stage, maybe using your revision guide, some flashcards, or maybe creating your own mind map. Some exam style questions to try. Explain the formation of a V-shaped valley from memory. And assess the benefits of hard and soft engineering strategies using the figure provided and your own knowledge. Notice how the engineering strategy from the figure, you'll have to use the opposite style of engineering strategy from your own knowledge. Good luck, and again, anything you produce, bring to a teacher at school so we can give you some feedback and your next steps.